Spoilers ahead for the Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 6. From the desert comes a stranger.
What are the techniques they use to make Luke's CGI look so incredible? How are they subtly setting up Ahsoka to oppose Luke's decision to train Grogu? What the heck is Grogu going to choose from that cliffhanger?
This time, whatever we want, we're breaking down Boba Fett Episode 6.
As always, there are time codes down in the description if you would like to jump around. Enjoy! Welcome back to Whatever We Want, where we talk about all media, movies, TV shows, video games, and beyond to give you the most interesting behind-the-scenes insights, filmmaking techniques, all that jazz, and more.
Every single thing you see on the screen is there for a reason. It's our job to uncover why.
I'm Jake.
And I'm Daniel.
Without further ado,
Let's jump into the show.
Luke's CGI, dude.
Everything, dude! What do you mean Luke sees everything?
Oh my god! I want to talk specifically about Luke's, that was crazy.
It was like Mando, the Mando season 2 was like, like a teaser, like we're gonna do it, we're gonna bring in Luke.
It's
but
crazy
this
how much
time,
they've improved,
dude,
in the past year.
Yeah. Okay, like here's the thing, right? Too, because think about it like this: the lighting in the spaceship is so much easier from a technical standpoint.
I know when you're outside with bamboo, leaves,
yeah. Well, I mean, oh my. Okay, so technically that's solved with HDRIs, which for people that don't know are high dynamic range images. It's like a 360 photo, right? That you use to build light information off of.
It's a bunch of nerd talk, Daniel.
Yeah, I know.
I want to talk about the exciting stuff.
Oh my god, it looks so good.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, dude, I know. And so I actually did some research into how they made it so much better. What they did is, when Mando season 2 came out and Luke CGI, that obviously, also let's not crap on that. That was
it was
good.
amazing. It was amazing.
Great. But it left some room to be
improved
something
upon.
To be asked for.
Yeah.
And people improved upon it. I remember Corridor did a deep fake, but this other guy, his name was Shamook on YouTube. He made a video called deep faking vamping Luke's deep fake or something like that, and it went viral and looked really good from season 2, and Lucasfilm actually then hired him a year ago as a facial artist. So
that is smart.
I don't want to give him all the credit because obviously it's the team and them learning, but probably part of the improved CGI was they brought on just a YouTuber that did deepfakes, and that's just also incredible.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah, that you can just make a YouTube video and they get hired by Lucasfilm. That's an incredible time we live in.
Well, not even that. He's like I can one up one of the best animation
ILM
studios in the world, and and then because of that they're like, yeah, we want you. That's just crazy.
It's also interesting because they changed some of their techniques. They didn't have Max Lloyd Jones. Remember that cameo?
Yeah, the same guy.
Starfighter. They didn't use him. They used a different guy. They used Graham Hamilton this time.
Interesting.
Who was Luke's. He's listed as Jedi performance artist or something like that in the credits. He also, I looked at the actor. He did some voice work for The Last of Us Part 2.
Oh,
in
that's
the video game. So it's kind of cool. But then they also they had him do a lot of the performance stuff. They also had Scott Lang, not Ant-Man, but an actual Scott Lang. He was the stunt double for Luke. And then Mark Hamill, I think, did the voice again.
I was gonna say it sounded like they did the voice and then maybe I don't know, de-aged the voice a bit, made it a little bit softer.
Just the sheer quantity of shots too.
Yeah, dude, oh my goodness,
that's where the budget went for this series.
Jeez, man, it was
Does
so
this have
good.
the possibility for a Luke spinoff?
Dude, I would be down for that. Are you kidding me? Dude, so many people would want to see that. I know I would. That'd be awesome. But it'd be interesting what time period you choose to do that in, right? You could do it now, with him training Grogu, or would it be if Grogu makes the choice, or if it's him later on with the temple and building on.
We'll see the actual sequence of him at Kylo's.
Oh my god, dude, that would be crazy too.
Yeah, I don't know, but I also just think they did something extremely smart to make Luke more realistic. They chose to put a lot of his dialogue off screen.
Yes.
Because one of the hardest things to get right in a CGI face is the lip and the teeth. And that's what a lot of people criticize in Mandalorian. And a lot of his dialogue was on a shot of Grogu or a wider shot.
Or if he was talking, it was a still shot. So you're able to have better tracking and make it do more, easier to track.
But they also didn't like just do that, because I think it'd be really weird if you never saw Luke's like lips move.
Yeah.
But for the shot, like they pushed in for the extremely dramatic moments, and I think this is the key. It's when like the moments you don't care about like how the CGI looks, really you care about like what's being said and how it like pertains to the story and like Star Wars as a whole. Like for example, one of the first close-ups in one of the sequences when he's talking to Grogu is when it pushes in and like he's talking about Yoda and he says like size matters not. Like that's like the one line he like pushed in for, and like everyone's just like geeking out about like Yoda nostalgia. They don't care how Luke's mouth looks, you know?
Yeah. I also thought it was funny how Luke kept on like picking him up and like kind of like throwing him forward a little bit to like carry
Yeah, that was so funny. You know how they did like the special edition releases for the original trilogy where they kept like updating VFX?
Yeah.
I wonder if they're gonna go back and redo like Mando season 2 like with this better.
I don't
Luke
think they
face.
are. I mean, that'd be.
But they have already gone back and like removed the like crew guy that made it into the cut. Remember?
Oh, they did.
Like, there was that like Gene guy. Yeah, and they went back like 2 weeks later.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did. And they moved him.
Yeah, they removed him.
That's interesting.
Yeah, but also sorry. Just when I wrote that down, I was like getting on a tangent thinking. I feel like like they should add like with the special edition stuff. They should go back to episode 9 when Luke has a flashback of him training Leia, and they should just have like Grogu in the background like doing flips like training with them.
Dude, that'd be so hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, so if Grogu could speak later on, like we start seeing like talk, how do you think he would speak?
Oh, I wonder if he'd just have like Yoda isms or something.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like would he speak like with Yoda grammar, or would he be like, you know?
I saw the new Rockstar's video said that he like it looked like Grogu was like about to like speak like right before it cut away. So like maybe he's about to say his first word like Mando or something. I don't
know. Man, that's crazy. Also, that brings us to the point. What choice do you think he's going to make? I think he's going to choose Mando.
I wish he wouldn't though. Like I don't know. I think I personally got set on like seeing. I want to see like what Mando does without Grogu. Like I thought I was kind of getting set on like a Mandalorian war, so that's on me. But like I don't know. I saw a theory that like I think like he'll choose both. Like he'll choose Mando's armor and go back, but like also keep training the ways of the Force and become like a Mandalorian Jedi like that we've heard from like in the past. You know. Mm-hmm. What do you think he's gonna do?
Well, I mean, things are already being set up for him to choose Mando, which is why I'm like it makes sense in a certain way, but I also agree with you where you're like you want to see like just full on like Mandalorian war and. Also, but at the same time, Grogu's he's going to be a powerhouse. Like he is strong in the Force. The problem is like he's like Luke said, it's more like he's remembering, right? He forced himself to forget because of the tragedy of Order 66, right? He doesn't.
Yeah, we saw Order 66. I said we saw Darth Plagueis. We saw Order 66. That was so sick.
Sad, dude. It was sick, but it was also sad. It was just like
I loved seeing just like the nostalgia wave of like the gritty like clone trooper armor with the blue. I was like,
with the 501st. I was just like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it was like it makes sense. It's funny because we've also seen this too with Cal Kestis in the games, where it's like he's trying to do his own thing. He's just trying to survive in the galaxy. He's trying to disassociate from his past, right? Mm-hmm. Until he gets to a point where he has to embrace it, right? Now with Grogu, his situation is different. Like he can choose to embrace it, or he can choose to go down this new path. That's where it's different with him. So I feel like for Grogu's story to progress properly, it's going to be him again trying to find that balance between, like what you said before, being both a Mandalorian and a Jedi.
Yeah, dude, I'm so freaking pumped for it. I don't know how they're going to wrap everything up. Like they have so much to do.
Dude, it's going to be freaking crazy, man.
I also it's just like this whole thing. Like I know it's like people are criticizing because like Boba Fett's not in this a lot, but like who cares in this like Star Wars expanded universe? But this is the storytelling between like Mando, like when he like goes and is about to give the chainmail to Grogu, and Ahsoka like stops him and is like, "Are you doing this for him or for you?" And then like Mando like really stops and reflects, and then like it shows just how much he loves Grogu because he realizes this will just like make Grogu's decision and like next step of life like so difficult if he goes and sees him. So even though he came all that way and like wants desperately nothing more than to see him walking away, that just hurt my heart so much. But I was like, dang, it just shows how much he really loves this kid, this baby Yoda, this Grogu.
You know, it is a lot of development there for like himself because he again, like you said, like he wants to have that connection, but at the same time, like it's the confliction of creeds. You know, the Mandalorian creed versus how the Jedi forgo all attachment. You know,
yeah,
and that's also, if you think about it, that's also the question that Grogu again is coming in contact with. He's like, hey, am I going to choose to accept attachment, or am I going to choose to disconnect myself,
reject it
from the world, right?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I think Ahsoka is like a really key character here, and I haven't heard this talked about much, but Ahsoka says like Luke is like his father a lot, like Anakin, which is first off just touching and sad that she's like comparing lost Anakin like as a friend and like obviously knows both, but she is Ahsoka. I think Luke eventually comes around to like in episode 8, like not trusting the Jedi Order and being like it has to die, like he literally says that. But right now he's like, we have to bring back the Jedi Order, like it was this great thing. And I think a lot of people are forgetting that like it's exciting to see Luke like doing this, but like the Jedi Order was not a great thing. But
no.
And Ahsoka was one of the first people to recognize that when she walked away in the Clone Wars. Like I think that's why she didn't want to train Grogu, and I think she's kind of biting her tongue with Luke. Like she didn't trust the Jedi Order or agree with its teachings. She like left it and saw it fail with Anakin, and now she's seeing Luke like almost repeating history, like making the same mistakes again. And so I think she's kind of like very skeptical about this, and I don't know if that'll lead to any conflict between the two of them in the Ahsoka series or how that will turn into anything. But I think like that's something really interesting that could be explored. I just don't know how yet.
I agree. I think that'd be an interesting thing to see, like especially if it like grows like intense conflict between the two. I don't think it will. I think Ahsoka sees the potential here to where
like Luke could do it better, maybe.
Yeah,
but she's still like.
It's something again you gotta be careful with how you develop your connections with the people who are connected to the Force, right? Because like again, like we saw like Jedi were taking children from their families only because they were Force sensitive, right? To then raise them in this, honestly, it's technically a religious cult if you think about it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's a lot of people like, oh man, Jedi are the greatest, but like there's a lot of like genuine war crimes are actually done by the Jedi, which in some cases makes sense, right? Like it's almost, I don't want to say justifiable, but it is justified in the universe. But at the same time, it's horrific. But in this case, right now, what we're seeing with Grogu, right, is like the whole like story of Mandalorian season 1 and 2 was getting him to his people, right?
Yeah.
But now
is in that process has his people become Mandalorian?
Exactly. It's asking like, who are his people, right? His people used to be the Jedi because again, he was there with that. And it's also a weird thing about too the attachment, because there is still attachment that he had. He had attachment to the Jedi Order, so it's not technically to a specific tangible thing, but it's more to an ideology, right? But at the same time, he might have to get rid of that connection. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to take a step back and think about just the location they're at, like in the Jedi Temple. I think I think it's something not really considered, but I think just kind of, I don't even say subconsciously, but like offhandedly, like I think the technology that Lucasfilm is using to develop like Boba Fett and the Mandalorian is like allowing for these cameos. So like, let me explain. So I think like, think about the beautiful scene that like this planet takes place on, like all the bamboo that like Luke is building the new like Jedi Order temple.
Yep.
Normally you'd have to like 5-10 years ago, you have to go to like Japan or like a bamboo forest somewhere to film that. Now they can do that like in the virtual production stage, like the volume in LA.
It's funny you say that because I was just at SCAD. I was doing like a tour visit, and they're building one at their Atlanta location right now. Yeah, so
that is sick. I would love to just get on one of those and just like see how they do that. Like I that's one of my goals. I think is to work towards that.
No, dude, it'd be totally sweet to be able to work on it. I didn't really get to see it because, like, again, it's still under construction. But I got the sense of the entire scale of like how big that section, like it's a whole section of one of their main buildings, right?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's huge, and it's crazy to think about how you're able to do, especially with also Unreal Engine, right? Because that's on the software side. Because now you have companies like Quixel Mega Scans and stuff like that, where they're able to literally do 3D scans of environments, like you said, like from these like crazy places. But now we can use it anywhere. I just want to explain
if people don't know like what the volume is. It's basically like you can just, it's like the new age of like green screen technology where like you project like the environment that like you want to be in, and it just like acts as a green screen, but like it's actually there, and like it interacts with the camera, so the perspective changes, but you don't actually have to be there.
Yeah. Think of it like if you're like in a movie theater and like, you know, you're like projecting like the whole screen, right? It's like almost to that scale and like width. You know what I mean?
But yeah, so my thing I want to like really drive home, and I guess important, I think because they're using the volume, I think that's how we're able to get like all of these amazing cameos, because like they have been bringing Mark Hamill on to like consult on set, and like for him, he lives like in California, like has a house here, so like it's so much easier for him to just drive like however far, like maybe an hour, or like get a car an hour, like to come down to the stage to like do the voice for and like get all of his like motion scans he needs in like that controlled environment, versus like 5-10 years ago they'd have to fly him to like a bamboo forest in Asia for him to be there. Like a big person like Mark Hamill, like big actor, like that would be so expensive and possibly not even possible with his schedule. So like they're able to do these like crazy cameos, bring in like Ahsoka for like a scene, an episode, just because it's now so localized. I think that's like opening up so much more for like the next generation of like storytelling, which is incredible.
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see how things progress. Like, I mean, this is going to be like a whole generation. Like it is like going to be the next big thing for how we're going to be filming just in general. But it's going to be crazy to see how we're going to be building off of that then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like how did we push that even further then? You know, it's going to be crazy.
The first production is so sick. I followed a TikTok account that speaking of TikTok, thank you for 10K. We hit 10K on TikTok a couple days ago.
You guys
We're
are
like
awesome.
10.4K now, which is like awesome. Just kidding, 10.5. Awesome, thank you. But yeah, so that's awesome. We want to keep pushing out content there. But yeah, so virtual production, seriously awesome. I think I got my points across there.
Yeah.
All right, I want to now kind of switch and talk about From the Desert Comes a Stranger. The stranger being Cad freaking Bane.
Dude, Cad Bane. Dude.
What did you think of his look?
I loved it. Here's the thing. I know a lot of people were mad about like his face design and all that kind of stuff. People were like saying, oh, he's like too round and stuff like that.
It's so hard to like translate from animation. And think about it, the Clone Wars is so stylized. Like if it was like Count Dooku's long face, like in live action, that would be horrifying.
Like the photoshops of like him with like his chin carved out like that. I'm like,
exactly.
But no, here's
they
the
really
thing.
Nailed his look.
Here's the thing too, right? He is what's the species called? Durian or Dorian, something like that.
I don't know. Something like that.
Cad Bane is old. Like he is old for his
species. He's like 70.
Well, he's like 71. So
70s or something, yeah.
And that's because I was watching this video on him the other day. And I was
Did you really just do that? He's like 70. He's 71.
Okay. Well, no. Okay, no. Because here's the thing. Because with the Durian species, right? If you make it past 69 years old, you're considered elderly. Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
Nice. But no, like it's like an actual canonical thing. So it's like an equivalent to like somebody that's a human being like making it over like 100. Right? So
I mean, I feel like 70 is still like elderly in human years.
Yeah, but that's just crazy how that like that shifts even more when it comes to somebody like, because they have a shorter lifespan, you know. So it's just crazy to think about. So with that,
right? So like he might not be as like, I don't know, but for people that don't know like his backstory, like he in the Clone Wars was like a huge player, and there's actually a deleted scene where him and Boba Fett like have a shootout, like it's supposed to be like season 7 of the Clone Wars, and he like Cad shoots him, and he gives him the dent in his helmet, which we see in this, like, since Boba Fett has been back, like since we've seen his armor like in Mandalorian season 2, like that dent is still there. So I'm wondering if we're gonna get like rehashed. Maybe we've established that flashbacks are a thing. Maybe we'll get a flashback of that fight happening in live action or something.
That would be really sweet. Like honestly.
So like they have a history and unfinished business. So hoping that they like face off. Also, Fennec and Cad Bane have faced off before. Like Fennec chased down Cad Bane when Cad Bane captured Omega in Bad Batch. So I don't know, just a lot of characters like kind of coming together again. It's gonna be a big party. Maybe we'll just have like a feast, like a big dinner,
big Tatooine like Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Thank you for not shooting me in the head. Oh wait. Well, thank you for having the armor on, I guess. I don't know.
Well, this is something I don't understand. I'm really curious. I think is interesting. So Cobb Vanth, like the Marshal, does not know who Cad Bane is. He's like, and who might you be? And so I think Cad Bane has to have been been watching Cobb Vanth for a while now because he's like, you should have kept your armor. So he's been watching him since he at least had the armor, which has been like many months now since like Boba got his armor back. He could have tracked him
trying to get to Boba, you know? Like maybe
maybe
he's like, oh, he's still alive out there somewhere, you know?
Right. So maybe so that could lead to believe that Cad Bane has like been gunning for Boba as this unfinished business for a while. So that's going to drive his motivation to really kill him, which is going to be interesting.
That's cool. And I like also the hate that he had for Boba when he's like, he worked with the Empire. And
But also like Cad Bane worked for the Empire. So.
Dude, Cad Bane did so much worse shit. Are you kidding me? He freaking led a whole assault on the Republic's like council. I'm like, what the heck? Like you literally held senators hostage in like the center of the galaxy. Like,
I think it's interesting just how they brought Cad Bane to live action. So they had Corey Burton, who voiced him in the Clone Wars, like voice him like this time. Also, Corey Burton's also the voice for Count Dooku, so that's cool. But he's also the voice actor for a bunch of other things. He's Hugo Strange in Arkham City. He does extra voices in Jimmy Neutron, and he's the how from Woody's Roundup in Toy Story 2. He's that guy. He's also Dale from Chip and Dale.
Interesting.
But Corey Burton does the voice for Cad Bane, which he has done the voice for years in Clone Wars and Bad Batch. But like the physical portrayal of Cad Bane was done by Dorian Kinji, who's just like a stunt performer, did a lot of stunts on Venom and Ready Player One and RoboCop. So it looks like they have a performer that can do a lot of stunts. So that might kind of leads me to believe that maybe next fight's gonna have like a lot of like Cad Bane stunts going on.
That's gonna be sweet.
So that is exciting.
He moves in a really unique way, you know. Like one thing that's kept him alive again for so long, because again, the species don't usually live for too long. Not only like is because he's always doing stuff, always fit, but like he's like playing chess but with bounties. Like he's always a step ahead.
Checkers.
You know, so like he always has like some kind of like backup plan, or he's able to like he's been known to like resist Jedi. Like with Jedi mind tricks and stuff, you know, it's like crazy to think about.
Yeah, and he's resistant to force choking because the reason he has those like tubes that injects like oxygen into him, which he doesn't need, but like when a Jedi force chokes him, he can like survive.
Yeah.
I wonder like how difficult it was to do like the voice lip sync when like you have like Dorian Kinji doing the stunts and like the physical performance, but then Corey Burton just doing the voice. I feel like they have some leeway because it's like an alien with like a raspy voice, and also like the crazy teeth. Like I was really looking at his teeth. I wasn't really caring about his lips at all.
I feel like the way I'd go about that is I'd have the performer do it first, which is funny because it's actually the opposite in animation. You usually get like your voice clip first or something like that, and then you animate to match up to the sound. But in this case, because it's live action, I would do the action first, right? Like I'd have the actor like, you know, maybe like listen to some audio, or maybe like have the person like do some trials for get the timing right. And then afterwards do the voiceover so the lips can match more accurately. I feel like that'd be the best way to go about that.
I think so. It's strange going from like animation to live action because there's a whole audience fan base that knows who Cad Bane is from animation, and they're like, no, he's this established like badass pretty much.
Yeah.
But then if you haven't watched that, like I know a lot of people haven't seen Cad Bane before, this sequence like really, it does two things. It reinforces with the people that know who he is that yes, he's still like a badass, but it also shows the new audience members very quickly like this guy's cool, like this guy can do work, because like he shoots Cobb Vanth in the shoulder and the deputy before either of them can shoot, like two before any of them can go. Do you think Cobb Vanth is dead? I think it was done really well.
I kind of think he is, because here's why, right? We had the guy, because we had the guy in, serving the drinks. He's like, "This is Freetown, you know. That's a city folk problem."
Freetown.
As soon as I saw a Cad, I'm like, wait a second. For this to be able to actually go through Freetown, for them to actually come in, they're going to need a martyr, you know. And I don't think the deputy is going to be enough. You know what I mean? So,
but it could, like him being injured, it could be like, let's rally now. Look what they did.
I mean, they could do that, but it's going to be more impactful if it's.
He did shoot him in the shoulder, though. Like I feel like you could survive a shoulder.
You could survive that, but still, but it's also Cad. Like maybe he hit like an artery. You know, I don't know.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you were saying like I thought you said it was Cobb, and it was like he's old, like he's gonna just fall over and die. I was like, what?
No, sorry, I meant Cat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
no, you said Cat. I just thought you said Cobb for some reason. They have very similar names.
Yeah. Can't go Cobb on Cat Farm.
Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane. That's like the Falcon Winter Soldier series I want to see. Like maybe they'll reconcile and it'll be like a duo, like a buddy cop movie, like Cab what is it? Cobb Vanth and Cad Bane. I can't even say it right.
Yeah. It's a tongue
Cobb
twister,
Vanth
dude.
and Cad Bane. That'd be so funny, just them like going on adventures around the galaxy. Like, that's what I want next episode. Like Cobb Vanth like turns Cad Bane around, and then they like Cad Bane like has like an epiphany. He's like, what am I doing with my life? And then they just like go and like volunteer with Luke Skywalker and like just go do like go around the galaxy doing good deeds with each other. Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you, Jake. I'm sorry.
You never know. At the very beginning, like Cobb stops this Pike drug deal pretty much. And I think it's really interesting. So the container that the Pikes have that have the credits and the money in it is the like based on the ice cream maker that we see the civilian running out of Cloud City and Empire Strikes Back carrying. So I was like, that's funny that like keeps coming back. The little Easter egg. Because for those who don't know, in episode 5, like I think like George Lucas is just looking for like cool things that look like they could be space props.
Yeah.
And like it's very evident that just like this guy's like running for his life escaping Cloud City, but like someone was like, hey, that's an ice cream maker. So it's just funny to think that like this guy's like, I need to grab the essentials before I evacuate my home. What do I get? Not my wife, not my kids. The ice cream maker.
You know, ice cream is a rarity in Cloud City, man. You never know.
It's a rarity even more in Tatooine. There's like no ice.
Imagine what ice cream would be like with blue or green milk.
Ooh.
I wonder if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know what I mean, though? Like
we should try that. You know what? I feel like that could be like
that should be a thing at like Galaxy's Edge or something. Honestly,
when we get like bigger on YouTube and like have a budget, we'll do like a special of like trying blue milk ice cream. Yeah. Okay, so what are your thoughts just overall on like the fact that like Boba Fett's like not really in this anymore?
It was a thing I was fearful of, but like I'm sad for the character. I'm happy we're getting the content that we're seeing, right? Like it's good content. Like I'm happy we're getting the story development that we are. But again, I feel like the way that they had displayed Boba, how they did with the flashbacks and stuff, the thing that we weren't connecting with, at least I wasn't, was his motive. That was the thing that everybody was questioning for the longest time. And you can't connect with a character if you don't know why the hell they're doing what they're doing.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that.
It depends on how the story's getting set up, but like when you already have a character that's established, that's when things become different.
But characters change, because I think that's the key here that people are forgetting is like, I think an interesting story is when we see a character change and go through things. I think when Boba first crawled out of the Sarlacc, he was, and like then kind of was taken in by the Tuskens, he was like, I need to change something with my life. Like that was like a low point for him. And I think people remember Boba Fett and like kind of hyped him up as like this crazy, amazing bounty hunter, even with his little screen time. And they were like, wanted to see that, and they got that idea in their heads, and now they're just struggling to deal with the change that like, no, Boba is now changing as a character, which makes an interesting story. Like he's trying to go from this dark past, which is like literally catching up to him with Cad Bane, who is only viewing him as like this horrible bounty hunter, but now he's trying to be a new good person. So like he's trying to break away from that. And I think that's really interesting, actually, if you look at it that way.
No, again, I agree. It is interesting. I just think that the way it was done wasn't portrayed in the best, right?
I don't know. We'll see. Whatever. We'll see next episode. I'm gonna talk about the cantina that gets blown up.
Oh yeah, dude! Freaking that
Max
was so
Rebo
sad.
is not in there again, so he's like escaped death again.
Dude, I love that.
I would love it if that was just like a recurring like trope that they set up. Is just like Max Rebo just narrowly escaping death at different cantinas that like blow up across the Star Wars galaxy, and he just like never dies. Like that's
he's like literally the equivalent of that one guy. I remember I saw this thing on like Instagram or something where it was like this one guy survived like a plane crash, and then he survived like a car crash like 2 years later, and then like 2 years after that he survived like a train crash, and then
he's like Scrat from like Ice Age
in
Star Wars.
So it's just funny to think about. I noticed that he wasn't in there. I'm like, wait, yeah, we're getting like the little like pan shot here, but he's like not there. So like what's going on? And then I was like, oh, you forgot your, you know, what do you call it, like the Choshi bag or whatever. And I was
forgot your sheet music. He's like, oh yeah, do, and then like it blows up behind him. He's like, well, that was close. On to the next canteen.
Oh wait, Oh wait, oh my god, the Cantina Band though. Wasn't the Cantina Band confirmed to be the same band from Mos Eisley?
I don't know.
If they were, that means they're dead. No.
Fuck. They were on tour. They were a day away from retiring.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
They probably have like albums and CDs, and now their music will be even more popular beyond because like they're martyrs now. Next episode now. I guess we're gonna see War with the Pikes.
Yep.
Hopefully, finally, it's been gearing up for like ever.
Did you notice we were kind of right? I think we were going to get the shot that I kind of predicted too. Because remember how we saw like the hologram table where they're like, oh, these are where like the pikes are getting set up, and they're like all up on the outer rim of like the
stampede in.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be the stampede in, and I want to see this. I think it's just an epic shot, and I want to see it where it's like all of them on the rim. And then it's like, they gotta like fight up in a way. Like that'd be cool. Yeah. That'd be so cool.
I think I know why we haven't seen Boba Fett in any of these episodes. I think it might be what we said. Like it might be he was Rancor training, and that was just boring compared to like Mandalorian. So they just showed us Mandalorian, and then he could come back and be like, "Well, Boba, what have you been up to?" Like, "Oh, I've just been training with like Ghibli, my Rancor, or whatever the heck the name is." And then we'll see like Boba Fett riding into battle on his Rancor, and like Mando like flying beside him with a Darksaber, or like flying beside him with Grogu on his shoulder with the Darksaber. That's the shot.
Well, okay, so let's think about that for a second though. Like, so Grogu is gonna have to make a choice, and then once he makes a choice, he's gonna have to find a way to get back to Mando, right? So like, is Luke gonna like deliver him? So now we're gonna get like
what if Luke's just like, all right, you're on your own, and just like leaves him stranded on this planet.
I don't think Luke.
If Luke delivers him back, he'll be going home to Tatooine.
That's what I was going to say, right?
First time in like a while.
So
maybe he'll like do this some dumb like he'll go over to like the Lars homestead and like kind of feel the ground like where Rey like eventually like years down the road will like plant the lightsaber, and he's like, just some like weird little like. Like a thing.
I feel like his aunt uncle's skeleton is still in there, so that'd be kind of traumatic.
Really? It's been like years.
Who would clean it out?
Maybe that's why it's clean when Rey goes, because Luke went back here and cleaned it up.
Oh! But you know what I'm saying, right? Like who would have cleaned it out? It has to be Luke. I think you're right, dude.
Wow.
He's gonna come back and be like, you know what?
Potentially Omega, Bosk. I mean Han and Leia. Now we've seen this de-aging technology. Kira. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be able to wrap up everything next episode. And if they do, like, it's going to feel kind of cheesy. Like, oh, everything's in a nice little bow. So, like, I think this might spill into season 2 of Boba Fett or, like, season 3 of Mando or something.
I think it's going to be a thing where they're going to... One, they're going to have to probably kill the mayor. 2, they're going to have to try to appoint, like I said, like, Fennec there or something like that. That'd be cool to see. Boba is going to be having to expand his empire around Tatooine. The Pikes are going to be off-world, and we might get, like, a cutscene with Kira, and then they might be, like, revamping, like, their army, with the Pikes.
Yeah.
And then I think at the end is going to be when we get, like, maybe Luke coming back with Grogu and, like, delivering him, like, after the battle.
I feel like Luke could just, like, come in and just, like, wreck house. Like,
yeah, that's the thing. So he could do that, but I don't think they're going to do that because that's going to, like, make... It's going to be Luke's fight then. It's not going to be Boba's fight.
Yeah, I mean? But what if they, like, do some, like, parallel, like... Remember when he was, like, lifting all the frogs? It's the same shot, but he's just lifting all the pikes, like, up and just, like, crashes them down.
Oh, that'd be funny, dude.
Oh, man. I liked, though, him lifting all the, like, the frogs, like, when he was training Grogu. Like, it reminded me of... when like Rey like lifted all the rocks in the Last Jedi, and, like that kind of like her training like kind of showing kind of coming through, but also it reminded me of like when Yoda like is like demonstrating to Luke like lifting the
X-wing
out. So just the generations of Star Wars.
Yeah, man. I thought more of Yoda doing the X-wing.
Yeah,
but yeah.
But that is all I had about this episode. You ready for totally tubular trivia tidbits?
Oh yeah, I'm down.
I have a good one. Mm-hmm. I was out to dinner or somewhere with some like film kind of higher ups executives, and we were just chatting about conversation, and it came up like the question like, how the heck does South Park get away with so much? Like they're so like raunchy and like kind of walking that line.
Yeah.
Of like what's accepted in like media, like how does that get approved by the studio? And some guy like had insight, like he has like talked to the studio heads that work there, and basically what happens is like the people that work on South Park, they're off in their own world, and they just take so long to get the episode. They like deliver the episode like 30 minutes before it's supposed to air. So like literally the executives like don't even have a chance to like screen it and like see if like it's good or not. So basically it's what and because South Park is like so established now and is like has like a weekly runtime, like they can't like postpone it and like people are expecting it. So like they just have to put it on the air. Like so there's like a little bit of a screening process during development. Like they're on the phone and like the guy literally said like he's on the phone like talking to the creatives like, yes, we can say that. No, we can't say that. We definitely can't say that kind of thing. But like that's all the screening they get. Like if they do happen to put something in there, like there's no screening of like the final version before it's just put out into the world. Like
that is
on TV.
Crazy, dude. That's a nice way for like the creatives to get around that though and be like, I want to say this, you know. So how do we like push? We're literally pushing the envelope on it, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Did you have any this week or no?
Yeah, I did. So mine's more of a game design thing. So my professor that also worked on like Disney stuff, he was talking to us one day about like like how to do like realistic water back in the day. Like now we have like more like effects and stuff like that to like make it like look like actual water, like with simulations. But back in the day, I'm talking about like GameCube, like maybe like PS1 days, stuff like that. You didn't have like super geometry that you could use, right?
Super geometry. Yeah.
So the one thing that he said that they came up with was they literally just put a texture on like a cylinder and then they just rotated it. That way it looked like it. Yeah, that was it. So that way it looked like running water for like off of like a waterfall.
That's
and it
really
worked.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I love just those like get arounds in like technology and stuff, and just like, especially back in the day, there's stuff now that's just like it's janky enough that like it works, especially in like low budget things. Like, I think that's so cool.
You also have to like think about like how much people like actually pay attention to like details. Like things have like definitely as much as we've been growing with how much detail we're putting into stuff, people have been paying a lot more and more attention, right? So it's funny just how both those trends like grow.
Yeah. You know what I mean? I think it's interesting just like I feel like there's always two sides to like the creative like technology. Like there's like people that are like developing technology to like become like uber realistic, and there's a lot of people working towards that. But also I love the other side of things where it's just like they're just trying to make like stylized like cool things that don't look realistic and just like pushing the envelope with that. Like I just think that's incredible. I think Spider-Verse is a good way.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible technology and new fresh techniques, but it's not to achieve this like hyper realistic look. It's like
it's to come up with their old masterful style
look. Yeah. But so that was a pretty good TTTT segment. Are you ready for the patron shout-outs?
Yeah, hit me with them.
Cue the every Star Wars music. Boosh got patron Lori, Frank, Rick, Lisa, Evan, Tony. Thank you so much for pledging the tier that gets you the shout-out. If you would like to support us over on Patreon, the link is down in the description. You get the audio episode early, special benefits, cool perks, all that jazz, and more. Thank you to our patron supporters. If you would like to leave a review on Apple Podcasts or a comment on our YouTube, we will shout them out in this section here. I don't believe we have any new ones, which is totally fine. Totally tubular. But yeah, so thank you. Next time we'll be doing the Boba Fett season finale. And then after that, we're kind of shifting into like some new things. We've been recording some interviews with some industry professionals. I know we've mentioned it, but like super excited about that and getting into that and to bring you some insights that we like can't give you, but like a deeper insights into like specifics of specific roles spots and of
stuff. Roles, parts of the pipeline. Because there's a lot of hands and a lot of eyes that have to go through for each of the steps of the process, whether it be for film, animation, games. It's going to be interesting to like get the deep dive of each of these roles.
Trying to peel the curtain back for you. Stay tuned for that. Thank you. Make sure to subscribe if you are interested in that, and like and let us know who you want us to get on the show. All right.
Also, we're both single.
What?
I'm just kidding. Cut that.
What'd you say?
I said also we're both single. Just as a joke. Cut that.
I might not cut that now. Just for you.
No! No! Cut it.
We'll see. All right. Ready for the introduction?
Yeah. Tell me when.
When?
Damn it. We just got done talking about what we're going to talk about, and now we're done.
Thank you so much for listening. Did you say we just got done talking about what? Did you really say that?
No,
You said we just got done talking. I swear you just said that.
No, I did. Did I?
I'm like 99% sure you just said we just got done talking about whatever. So whatever. Hey, it's whatever we want. So like, it could be whatever.
My brain's all flustered
riling because he's like, oh, who's gonna reach out to me?
Okay. No, here's the thing. Jake brought me the analytics the other day. You're gonna keep this in now. Okay, Jake brought me the analytics.
No, it was so funny.
He's like, Daniel, most of our viewers are like people from the past UK
2 weeks
that are like in their 20s.
60% of our viewers were like 24 to 28-year-old women that lived in the UK. I was like, that is so weird. It was like, I mean, not weird. Like, thank you.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoy. People, everyone. But I was just like, that's so interesting to me. I just thought that was really cool. Welcome. Yeah. All right.
So that's a joke. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Hope you guys had a good time. Peace out.